afternoon, mayong hapon sa tanan. For an icebreaker, would you like to hear my heartbeat? We have a museum in the campus. It's more of a culture and arts museum, but recently, one section of the museum houses the Salliana collection, which is actually an archive. It keeps the very old records like yearbooks and publications and stuff like that. We really don't have natural history museum in the campus. And so naming the study as such is like visualizing, for me, visualizing a dream that is soon to come true. It has always been our desire to have a natural history museum within the campus. The study is actually very recent, and it was fueled by the recently held ASBP symposium and annual meeting, which we hosted in Bacolod on May 28 to 31, just this year. And in one of those days, Dr. Liao was here. That's how we met. And in one of those days, one of the plenary lecturers, Dr. Ayumi Terada from Tokyo, Japan, visited our biology laboratory because that's where we keep our collections of birds and mammals and many other. I have a list that I will show you a little later. And when she saw how we stored our stocked specimen, our taxidermy specimen, it's good that she was too polite to show a face, but it was really sad because the bird specimens were stacked one on top of the other, and so she told the lab technicians it shouldn't be that way. And so we thought we should really start looking into all these biological specimens that we have. They must be very valuable because our bird collections actually were very old. And so that's why, metaphorically, I would refer to the symposium as the spark plug, where the combustion of the engine starts. And Dr. Terada as the car key. My steering wheel is Jess Pacalioga. She's a colleague, she's a researcher, and she inspired me actually to do the study. So in a very short span of time, I was able to come up with data, and I'd like to share that with you this afternoon. So the objectives of my study. Hello. The main objective is to primarily document the current status of the university's collections in terms of storage practices, total collections of specimens, and percent of endemic species in the collection, and the number of species that are either classified as near threatened, vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered using the IUCN. Very simple method of just reviewing the inventory, the existing inventory that was made by the college science laboratory personnel. The existing inventory of our specimens only listed zoological specimens, and this included the taxidermy specimen of birds and mammals, and also the wet specimens, and also the dry materials in terms of bones and horns and shells, something like that. So there are so many specimens that are not yet listed and not yet inventoried. So as I looked through the collection, actually I noted that there are so many that are yet unlabeled and unidentified, even to the family level, really no label, no identification, and even as to who collected and when it was collected, nothing. So ID of those unlabeled specimens was not done because of the effort that it would entail. It would take, I think, a lot more time to do that. And also the dry specimens were not counted because I think it will also take a longer time to sort out. They were all mixed up. And I tried to interview some lab staff to find out when these specimens were collected, especially the taxidermy specimen of birds. So what we have are the stuffed specimens of birds, mammals, reptiles, and most of them are study skins, that is very not mounted. And for the larger species of birds, like the hawks, for example, we have one that's mounted. And for the spirit specimens, mostly they're made up of arthropods and fishes and amphibians and reptiles. And these were collected either by researchers conducted, through researches conducted by Ms. Jess Macalioga and along with Sir Mark, who's with me right now, and also students, because part of their requirement in certain subjects in BS Biology is to collect specimen. And we have dry materials, and also we have herbarium, but we don't really have a good storage room for our herbarium specimens. And they're not even kept in ideal boxes. So here's showing some of the specimens that we have. They are kept in cabinets. We have actually 3 biology laboratories, and in 2 of the 3, that's where we have wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling cabinets, and the cabinets are labeled. Like, for example, this is actually headed specimens from the Ilo Kilabangan project of colleagues at Ms. Jess and Sir Mark. Are you part of this Ilo Kilabangan? Just Ms. Jess, Ms. Ana Rosa, I think. So they have a description here of where the location is and what is the importance of the project and what are the important collections that they have. The cabinets are also labeled with, I'm so sorry. The cabinets are also labeled with the taxonomic classification up to like class level. So it's not really, I can say, it's not that very organized actually. Because if you open those cabinets, it's a mixture of big bottles and small bottles and even smaller bottles. And in fact, one of the side notes that I have to mention is that some of the bottles are very old, and I think they need to be replaced because the caps are already rusted, and the solution, part of it has already evaporated. It's not immersing the entire specimen anymore, and I mean we can only do so much within a certain span of time, and we don't have, the lab said they don't have parang enough funds to purchase more specimen bottles and workforce to help them in sorting out and in fixing what needs to be fixed. Also, I don't have, for some unfortunate circumstances, within the days that I was preparing for this slide, the deadline was set 2 days ago. I wasn't able to take pictures of our bird collections, which I feel right now is quite fortunate perhaps, because I'd rather leave you with a good memory of USLS having very valuable specimen collections rather than, what has USLS done to these valuable bird specimens? So, buti na lang hindi. But actually, we have large cabinets that contain them, and yun nga, unfortunately, during weekends and holidays, air conditioning units are switched off. So I don't think that's a very good condition to keep those taxidermy specimens at all. And also, we don't have enough space. So we have 3 large cabinets. As I mentioned, those 2 are kept in, are present in the biolabs. But the other one is situated outside of the laboratory. That's the most recent. And now it actually has the skeleton of Nichols. Nichols is actually an Irrawaddy dolphin. It's Sir Mark's pet. And it's there. My concern is this is actually the cabinet that's outside of the laboratory. So my little concern is the spirit specimens are in there, so it's not in an air-conditioned area. So you can just imagine what's going to happen if it's left there for several more years. So these are the collections that are done by students. The frames, actually, the maps are made by students. So here are the data of the counts. We have 407. That's, for me, that's a number to be proud of. We have 407 bird specimens. All of those are stuffed. And these were collected actually within 1952 to 1972. And these are the 4 collections. And the mammals in my abstract, it was 21, but when I updated the counts, I fell so short. It was actually 49, and those mammals include bats, rodents, and civets, and these were collected from 1947 to 1967. So our oldest collection is actually Ratus ratus. And so among the birds, look at the number, we have 82 species of the 143 that's endemic. Either endemic in the Philippines or endemic in Mindanao or endemic in Negros, because most of these were collected from the Visayas region and mostly from Negros Island and then from Mindanao. And we have a few from Luzon, but mostly from Visayas and Mindanao. And notice also that we have 20 that are recently version 17, version 3.1 of IUCN and Red List, either near threatened, vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered. Our spirit specimens are also, they were mostly classified up to the higher level. So we have phylum, and we have about 346. And most of these are old, and they're not purchased from the Philippines. They were purchased, maybe a brother donated. We don't know, because the oldest faculty that's with us in the department said when she was in the campus in 1974, these specimens were already there, and we have no document of who donated or when it was purchased or from where it was purchased. And then, so vertebrates, most of these actually are from the UPLB project, which was collected around 2011 by Ms. Jess. And in her collections, she found out that there's one endemic, and that is the picture over there. That's Rhinogobius philippinus. That was collected in 2011. And our mammalian specimens are mostly fetus form. And I'm sorry, the zeros there actually don't mean that we don't have endemic collections. Actually, as of this time, we are not done yet with the counts, and that should be blank. So actually, we haven't completely counted the number of endemics that we have. Not really even started with a good number, and so. That's the distribution of the endemic species. Of the 90 endemic species, they're mostly birds. And so, recommendations that we would propose to our administration when we go back is to complete the inventory, and we need verification of the endemic specimens, especially our Remora collections, and to propose the establishment of a museum for national history collections in the campus. And I think we have a very valuable number of collections. So I'd like to acknowledge these persons. Ms. Jess, as I've said, is Mystery Wheel. Ms. Ganelia, who gave us the data on the counts through the inventory sheets. Mr. Lester Guillones, who helped me with the inventory, and Mark, who helped me with the ID of some, and my husband, that's my husband, he was absent for 2 days so that I can be here. And so I'd like to end my presentation with 1 words. Leaves, natural yan, and history na yan. So, natural history. Thank you.